Hello and welcome to the Sage's Cabin. I'm your host, Rox Madeira. The podcast is focused on developing your earth and plant connections and also health sovereignty by speaking to herbalists. It's also about raising awareness of liberation struggles, particularly related to women, land, food, indigenous peoples, and the results of colonialism. We will also talk to historians to discuss the world that made our current one in an attempt to work towards building a new paradigm. And the podcast is part of the greater Patreon, which is under the title Wise Herbal Ways, where you can support the podcast and go deeper. And if you do enjoy the podcast, please like, share and subscribe. So I invite you just to take a moment to close your eyes or soften your focus, to take some deep breaths and feel your connection with the earth beneath you. Drop your attention and focus to your heart so that you can receive these teachings and messages from the heart space. For a moment, send out your consciousness to Mother Earth. We call on Mother Earth to be present within us, to give us strength, courage, and compassion to move forward. We ask for forgiveness for all the times that we have taken and not been in right relationship. And that we ask that Mother Earth, that you help us to remember our connection and to lift the veil of our separation between us and the earth and between humanity. And we ask that these ripples spread far and wide to restore harmony and balance. So today I'm joined with my co-host Ruth Glasgow from the Justice Nook, and Ruth is going to be joining me on some of the podcasts, the non-herbal ones, so you'll be hearing more from her as we go along. And we are speaking with Rabbi E Beck from Neturei Karta. It's a Haredi Jewish anti-Zionist organization. They were founded in Jerusalem in 1938, and they're a community of activists representing many Jews worldwide, and they stand up for and promote traditional Judaism in opposition to the philosophy of Zionism. So we're really excited for you to hear the podcast. We hope that you listen to it with an open heart. It is quite a long podcast. It's about an hour and a half long. So hopefully you will make it all the way to the end. So please grab a cup of tea and enjoy the podcast. And as always, if you do enjoy the podcast and to help it grow, please like, share, subscribe, review. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
So I'm ready.
Okay, so let's begin. So we'd just like to start, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your history, and if you ever actually spent time living in Israel, just like about who you are.
Yes, my name is Rabbi E Beck. I'm a rabbi here in Stanford Hill in North London. I born in Jerusalem and we gone out, my whole family from Jerusalem about in 1970, and we didn't want to live under the Israeli occupation there. It's not really only us. Tens of thousands of Jewish families has gone out since the creation of the State of Israel in 1948. Here in London, in my area, in this area itself, the last 10 years, it came out hundreds of families from Israel that didn't want to live there. However, we moved here to England for a short while. Really, I landed in Scotland, and then we came to London, short while, and then we go to the Canada and USA. And really in USA, I studied to become a rabbi, and then I become active also to do campaign against Zionism in the state of Israel. And since then, the last 40 years, I'm quite involved in that. Also, I'm a teacher in a few schools. I mean, I teaching other teachers how to teach, and also I teach special needs children here in my area. So this is a short introduction.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that leads neatly into the next question, which is, can you tell us a bit more about your Jewish faith, and how that has come to oppose Zionism?
I know many people thinking that Judaism and Zionism are the same thing. Zionism and State of Israel is a Jewish state, especially when Netanyahu and the Zionists bringing some verses of the Torah to justify falsely themselves and something like that. So people put it together. This is a Jewish state and have to do with Judaism, with the Torah. So I will try to explain it from the beginning to understand the basic from that. What is Judaism? Judaism is a pure religion. God has given the Torah on the Mount Sinai for 3,500 years ago. And since then, Jewish people keeping the religion. The only thing what unite our nation is the Torah, not a land, not a language, nothing. Of course, it's easy to have their own land. It's easy for everybody to have their own country, and I think it could be make easier the life. Fine, but the thing what holds Jewish people as a nation, this is only the Torah. This is what one of our great rabbis said, Ein umaseinu uma elo b'torah. That means we are only a nation by the Torah. The Torah unites us. According to the Torah, everybody who believes in the Jewish date and principles, he is considered as a Jew. Everybody is not clear in these date and principles, is not considered as a Jew. This is not my words, it's the word of Maimonides. I'm sure you heard about him. He was one of the greatest rabbis of Jewish people, and he put the date and principles of Judaism in Perek Chelek in Sanhedrin. I just give the reference for that for these people who understand Hebrew. I just say the reference for that. And this means Judaism. You can understand that people can think what means Christianity, what means Islam. That means if somebody believes in these principles of the religion, he is a Christ, he is a Muslim. If not, he's not a Muslim. And you can be a Muslim being white, black, Chinese, Japanese, no difference on where you are, what your background is, and no difference. The same thing is Judaism. This is a pure religion, have nothing to do with any national movement. Anybody who joined the religion, he converts to Judaism. He can be white or black, or from anywhere in the world. He's a Jew, the same as me. And every Jew who don't believe in the 13 principles, he is not considered as a Jew. So this is what Judaism stands for. Zionism, from the other side, it's completely a national movement, have nothing to do with the religion. They don't believe in the religion. Theodor Herzl, he was the founder of Zionism from Vienna, Austria. He was completely a secular person. He don't believe in God. He don't believe in the Torah. He don't believe in nothing. He even didn't make a circumcision for his own son. But the Jewish religion, a circumcision really is the last thing. Even secular Jews, still they're keeping a few keys. This is Yom Kippur, and don't eat pork, and making a circumcision. Some key points they're still keeping. However, Theodor Herzl didn't make a circumcision for his own son. He was proud of that. to show I'm not religion, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in nothing. They have a different look on Judaism. They say, look, what will unite Judaism as a nation? We have to create a state, create a language, and so on, so on, so on. So what Zionism did, they took in Judaism, emptying out of the holiness, emptying out of the whole spiritual in that, filling it in with materialistic aspects, like what means a Jew, saving the army, leaving Israel, speak Hebrew, and so on, so on, so on. So just imagine yourself, if somebody will do that with Christianity or with Islam, he will empty it out from the religion and say, what means a Muslim? To live in one of the Eastern countries, to speak Arabic and something like that. This is a completely transformation from a religion into a nationalistic movement. This is really what the Zion is doing. So as we can understand that Zionism with Judaism is diametrically opposed. It's two completely concepts. These are religious, faithful, spiritual, holy movement, and this is an empty, nationalistic, materialistic movement like all nationalities on the world. This is what Zionism doing with the Jewish religion. I will try to explain it better, to understand it better. Just 1 second. I will come to, I think, what we have to speak it later. I will bring it up now in the front to understand it better, the concept. We often hear on the media that Netanyahu said, waving the flag of the promised land, he bringing verses of the Torah, the promised land. Now, it's true that God promised a land for the Jewish people, as you can see in the Torah, but when you look in the Torah, you will see that we were promised a land only under certain conditions. The promise was conditionally. If Jewish people will keep a high level of life, a high moral, if not, God say in the Torah numerous times that we will be exiled of the land. And this is very clear in the Torah. One of that is in Kriyat Shema, what we say in our prayers every day, a few times a day. Hishamru lochem ben yifta levavchem, עבדתם מהר ומעל הוא את הטוב אשר השם אלוקיכם לא יעשה לכם. We just bring the reference for these people about understanding Hebrew, that God will exile us from the land, even not keeping a high level of life. And when you look in the books of the prophets, you will see that God sent the prophets to us to ask for Jewish people to repent and to come back to Him. And when we failed, you can see in the end of Jeremiah that we were exiled by God. So Jewish people are exiled by divine decree. We are forbidden by God by the 3 oaths not to come back, not to rebel against the nations, not to go up to the Holy Land in mass, and not to force the redemption of the world. God promised us to bring us back, but the Messiah will come. We will come back later to the topic of Messiah, to understand that Messiah will not be another Netanyahu, that Messiah will not be somebody that will kill men, women, children, just innocent people. And we will come back later to that. But God promised us to bring us back from the exile. However, at the moment, we are in exile. Jewish people are believers in God. Believing, that means when it's light. When it's light, you don't have to believe. You can see. Believing means when it looks dark. Nothing is dark, because everything what God do is not dark, but it looks dark. Still, we are believing in God. Jewish people are believers in God. When God sent us in exile, we are not rebel against Him. We're staying in exile. We're waiting for the coming of Messiah. We're waiting for the redemption of the world. We're not rebelling against God to go out of the exile by force. I give you an example. It's like a father, he have a child, he is bad. He told him, look, you are bad, stand in the corner for 10 minutes, and the child coming out. What means that? Couldn't care less about you, about your punishment. I do whatever I want. The same thing, if God sends us in exile, we have to stay in exile, not go out of the corner. Wait in exile till the dad will tell him, you can come out. The same thing, we're waiting for the Messiah, we're not going out of exile by force. This is all, even the Zionists doing that, the land in a free land, especially when they're doing that on the head of other people by killing them, by robbing away the land from them. Of course, it's double the crime, many times more. In the Torah, in the Ten Commandments, it's written, don't kill, don't steal. This is exactly what the Zionists is doing. They stole the land from the Palestinian people. Everybody knows the history, knows the Jewish people votes for 100 years ago, 120 years ago, a very small minority in Palestine, about 10%, maybe less than that. And the Zionists bring up many Jews from Europe, money tricks, just to take over the land from the Palestinian people. And that is really what's happened. And this is the Jewish look on that. However, the Zionists look completely different. They don't believe in God, don't believe in the Torah. Of course, Netanyahu uses the Torah, uses verses of the Torah to justify themselves. However, it's completely false. It's so hypocritically faced. Who is him to claim the land in the name of the Torah when he don't believe in the Torah? He's complete atheist. He don't believe in God. He don't believe in the Torah. He don't keep Shabbos. He don't eat kosher. He was here in London a few years ago. He eat in a non-kosher restaurant just to demonstrate I am not religious. I don't believe in God. So who is him to take verses out of the Torah and say we are justified by the Torah? This is just hypocrisy. However, but the Zionists have a different look. They don't believe in the Torah. They don't believe in God. So they look on the Jewish people with different eyes. Why we are in exile, why we should be in exile. They don't believe that God sent us in exile. So they think what we have to do, what the English people should do if they are in exile. They have to organize themselves and they have to make a big organization, then to take over a land and something like that. The same thing we have to do for Jewish people. This is what their understanding is. So you can understand Judaism is built up on believing God, trust God. And not only Judaism, every religion. Every religion is the first step in the religion, believing God, trusting God. Zionism, from the other hand, is built up, don't trust in God. How long you will stay in exile? If you will not help yourself, nobody will help you. That means don't care about God. Don't care about your dad. Don't care about your father. Just help yourself. If not, he will not help you. So Zionism is built up on rebellion against the Almighty. Judaism is built up on trust the Almighty, believe in the Almighty. So you can understand very clearly, Judaism and Zionism is diametrically opposed to each other. And as I said, that especially when the Zionists build up the land on the head of other people, what of course it's forbidden but the Jewish religion to kill other people and to steal the land and the properties of other people. So this is very clear to understand what is Judaism, what is Zionism, and why Judaism is completely contradiction to Zionism. It's true that the Zionists try to confuse people and they use the verses of the Torah, and not only the Torah, they use it. The whole concept of the Holy Land, what the Zion is doing, is just to confuse people. I mean, if you read a history about Zionism, you can see when Ted Herzl came up with the idea, he were offered to a piece of land in Argentina and then in Africa, Uganda, yes. And he refused that. I mean, the Zionists are evil people, but unfortunately, they are not crazy. They understand that if they will take the land of Palestine, there will be bloodsheds, rivers of blood. And they know that if they choose Argentina or Uganda, they will have a peaceful land, and they have no problems. So they are not stupid. Why they choose the Holy Land? Why they choose Palestine? Because the Zionists know that every Jewish person have very strong ties to the Holy Land. Even me, not because I born there. Every Jewish person have very strong ties to the Holy Land. And really, but we have to understand that these ties is not materialistic ties, like a person had. This is my land. This is spiritual ties. The land is holy. I want to serve God. In the Holy Land, I can serve God better. But it's no difference who runs the land, who governs the land. If the Palestinians or the English or the Turks or anyone else, the ties what we have to the Holy Land is a spiritual ties. Have nothing to do with who governs the land. It have nothing to do. But the Zionists try to confuse people. They're taking these deep ties of all Jewish people and they say, "Oh, you want to have the land. You have so many ties to the land. We will give you the land." Blah 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 blah. And not everybody is clever enough to can differentiate between all these things, and they get confused. And this is really this is what the Zionist leaders understand from the beginning, that if they choose Argentina or Uganda, after 1 or 2 generations, nobody will look at their side. Look, Azerbaijan in Russia. Yeah, this is a Jewish city with Jewish letters. Everything is in Yiddish. Yiddish is a Jewish language. Yiddish is not Hebrew. Yiddish is coming from close to German language. We speak in Yiddish between ourselves. We don't speak Hebrew because it's a Zionist language. We studying and praying in the old Hebrew, but not in the new modern Hebrew. However, we speaking in daily life Yiddish. Yiddish is close to German. Azerbaijan, this is a city in the Far East in Russia. There everything is in Yiddish. The signs on the road, everything is in Yiddish. And it was built up by the Yosefskis at that time, for 70 years ago, 80 years ago. I don't know exactly the years when it has been built up. But have nothing to do with Judaism. Nobody looks on that side. It's not identified with Judaism at all. It's have the Jewish language, right? However, they have nothing to do with the Torah. They don't believe in God, and they have nothing to do with Judaism. They are lost from Judaism at all. However, Zionism, because of that, they choose the state of Israel, because they know that Palestine is in a holy land. A holy land have strong ties for Jewish people forever, even though this is spiritual ties, but they confuse the concept. And not only that, they take the concept of the Western Wall and many other holy sites in Palestine, but they try to confuse people with them, with that. And unfortunately, they're quite successful with that. I can say they succeed today in today's world. There are 18 million Jews, and only 2 of them are observant. 16 million of them are secular people, non-believers, because the Zionists confuse them and they say, today, if you want to be a Jew, you don't have to keep the Torah. Not the Torah unite Jews. The land united Jews, saving in the army, and so on and so on. And people unfortunately get confused. And at least this is to understand what Zionism is, what Judaism is, and what the Zionists done to the Jewish religion. They transform the religion, and unfortunately they succeed to uproot 80% of Jewish people from Judaism and from the religion.
And I had kind of two questions for that. Do you think there was ever a kind of positive or good side about Zionism, like in its conception? And then my other question was, there's a lot of people that say that the Palestinians weren't there in Palestine and that they've been kind of brought there. Do you think that's just the propaganda and confusion?
If I understand good, I'm not sure I understand the question. I will repeat it. The first question first I will address, and then we will speak about the second. The first question, if Zionism has bring any positive thing for Judaism and for Jewish people, is that the question?
Yeah, or just when it was when they conceived the idea, did they have positive intentions?
Look, of course, with their eyes, but they are not those non-believers, not believers. And they look on Judaism completely on a different way. They don't believe in God, don't believe in the exile, don't believe in the redemption of the world, don't believe that God punished Jews, don't believe that this punishment will come to an end, don't believe in the whole connection between Jews and God. They think how we can benefit Jewish people, we have to build them up a country. However, if they bring any benefit for Jewish people, today, after 130, 140 years of Zionism, and after 77 years of actual state of Israel, everybody can see Zionism didn't bring any positive point for Jewish people. I mean, everybody can see that. The Zionists say every time we will give for Jewish people, Jews need a safe haven. We will give you a safe haven. We will save Jewish people from anti-Semitism over the world. Now they just failed completely. Have a look just in today's day. Just think yourself, where's the most dangerous place for a Jew to live in today's world? Go from Argentina to Australia and Russia till Alaska. In the whole world, you will come to one point. Really, it's the middle. This is the state of Israel. This is the most dangerous place for a Jew to live. I say every time, look, I live here in England. I never saw an English soldier. I don't know how it looks like the I don't know how it looks like the uniform. It's green, it's brown, I don't know. We don't see them on the streets. I saw them in the changing of the guards. It's the only place where I saw them. But we don't see, this means a safe country. You never see a soldier, you never see tanks. In my life, I didn't see a tank here in England. Why? This means a safe country. In Israel, every small child from 3 years, so in daily life, soldiers, tanks, weapons. This means a safe country. This is the most unsafe place for Jews, not to speak for Palestinians, for Jews, is the most unsafe place. The Zionists really, really, really failed in the mission to bring a safe haven for Jewish people. And not only here in England, even in the Muslim countries, Jewish people living today, peacefully in Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Turkey, everywhere in the world, Jewish people living peacefully. The only place where Jewish people are in danger is in the state of Israel. And about anti-Semitism, when they say we will save Jewish people from anti-Semitism over the world, when I walk in the street here in London, and I hear behind me, Hitler, I know that this person, he watched yesterday a video of Gaza. I mean, they didn't save Jewish people from anti-Semitism. They're just raising up anti-Semitism over the world. I I mean, they bring in Jewish people really into rivers of blood, bloodshed after bloodshed after bloodshed. I mean, this question, what Zionism will bring a favor for Jewish people or not, this couldn't be asked for but today's day, everybody see the whole creation of the state of Israel was one big disaster. It didn't bring any benefit for Jewish people. They take in Jewish people into a river of blood, in making hatred, just hatred all over the world. And now I'm coming to your second question. Sorry, if you can remind me.
Yeah, so this is not my opinion, obviously, but I've heard people saying that that a lot of the Palestinians were put into the area of Palestine. That Palestine didn't exist. They were put into the area of Palestine because they were terrorists and they didn't want them in other countries. So I've heard people talking this way as well. And I just wondered your thoughts are in that.
Let's take away the name Palestinians. I want to speak about the people who living there for many generations. You can call them any name but you want. I'm speaking about these people. Of course, there was also Jews. They used to live there like many generations, like me, myself. I'm already there 7 generations. But the Jews was a minority. If we speaking about the people, what living there for generations, for just centuries, they're living in a column, whichever name you want. The world called them with the name Palestinians, and nobody can deny that. There was there 90% population of non-Jews there. Call them any name what you want. For these people, the land should belongs, and for these people, the land should go back. We know that this is the Palestinians, but call them anyway, any name, but you know what you want. I mean, not all Palestinians are Muslims, many of them are Christians. No difference. But these people are used to live there for generations. To them, the land belongs. And no one have the right to give this land away for other people. Like to say that the UN can give it for the Zionist, or they can give it for any other nation, or England, because England have the land before 1948, they have no right to give it for anybody. The land belongs to the people who are living there. Like any land, the land belongs to the people who are living there. If France will go over some crisis, yes, the UN have no right. The UN can go in and make peace there and try to do whatever they can, yes, to help the French people, but they have no right to take French and give that for a gift for Italy. It doesn't work like that. It cannot work like that. And of course, an occupier of a land or anyone cannot take a land and give it for other people for a gift. It's not belong to them. It belongs to the people who are living there. So Palestine belongs to the Palestinians. To these people who used to live there, and nobody have the power to take it away and to give it for other people for no any reason.
You're talking there about the indigenous people and the indigeneity of certain people to the land. So the Palestinians, be they Christian or Muslim, they're indigenous to that land. And, you know, obviously, sadly, we see that all over the world with indigenous people having their land stolen and them being killed. You also spoke there about the UN, the role the UN has played, and the global politics surrounding this whole situation. So do you have thoughts on the ultimate source of the conflict that, and I say conflict, which implies that there's equality on both sides, which there isn't in this case. But the ultimate source of this conflict, do you see that as one thing, like racism, religion, politics, money, resources, or do you see it as a complex mix of all of that?
Give a look. Everything of that have money along a big idea in that. And really, I don't want to go in that because Zionism, it's very, very simple. It didn't come from any deep ideology. Like I will say, it's come from democracy, it's come from communism, it's come from this, it didn't come from any deep thing. It's very simple. This is unusual that people, many people, a group of people that are in exile for 2,000 years, in the stay in exile, in the not looking for any to go out of exile, like Jewish people are. This is very unusual. And really, it's not understandable. In the normal world, it's not understandable why you don't look for your own country. But as I understand you, we Jewish people are people what are chosen by God to serve God. When I touched the point of chosen people, really we have to come to this point. People asking what means a Zionist, Netanyahu. 1 second, let me finish. I come back to the point of chosen people, the question chosen people. We are chosen by God to serve God closely. Our main purpose of the world is to serve God. Our main purpose of the world is not to establish here on this world, to have a good country. Of course, it's very comfortable to have a country, yeah, fine, but it's not our main purpose. Our main purpose is to serve God, and we know there is another world. This world's a preparation for the other world. This is the Jewish belief. And again, still, a person have a natural everybody wants to have their own country. So this looks not normal. The Jewish people don't want to have a country. That's what I explained you. We believe that God sent us into exile. It's not only my belief. This is written very clearly in the books of the prophets, especially in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. We are in exile and we hope to God that God will take us back. But so the Zionists, when they don't believe in God, it's very simple that they will come to the conclusion that we have to organize Jewish people and to create their own country. I will come back to the point what I mentioned about the chosen people, but the Zionists using that often in the media, that we are chosen by God, we may murder other people, we may kill other people, all the people in the world are like animals, we are the only people of the world, and everybody have to be our slaves, at least, if not animals, at least slaves. And this is something what you see, God chosen us. We are the I don't know how the Nazis called that, the high race. I don't know. Again, I'm not giving name for the Zionist Nazis because it's not legal in our country to give any names for that. I just bring out the point. They say we are chosen people, like the high race on the wall. However, the concept of chosen people is completely something different. Chosen people don't mean we are the kings and all of the people are the slaves. Chosen people first think, before we're going into that, it's not the people, it's the religion. We believe that God chose this religion. Everybody keeping the religion, no difference is a black or a white or a Chinese or Japanese, coming from Australia, Argentina, no difference. Everybody converts Judaism to Judaism. It's a chain chosen like me. He can be black, he can be white, he can be anything. So again, chosen people is not a racist concept, have nothing to do with a Jewish race, have to do with a religion. And everybody can join it, and everybody can go away from that. Secondly, the concept of chosen people don't means we are the kings, everybody the slaves. Chosen people means we are chosen by God to serve him closer. The whole world, God give them seven laws of Noah. For us, God gave 613. Don't become Jewish. It's quite hard to be Jewish. However, this means chosen. We are chosen by God to serve him closer, to be closer, to enlighten the world with the believing in God. And this is our purpose here of the world. Again, I come back to that. it's much easier to have our own state. If God will give us a state, He will accept it. If He take it away, He's not taking away our main goal on the world. This is to understand this question.
Rox has another question here.
Yeah, sorry. So what we see in the media is that a lot of the Israeli population seem to support the genocide, but I can't believe that is true. I mean, there must be other Orthodox Jews who are properly Jewish living in Israel who don't support it. So do you have any like inclinations of like what kind of percentage, or just like if there's a lot of people that are opposed to what's happening inside of Israel?
Look, as I told you before, that unfortunately only 2 million Jewish people are religious. The rest of 60 million, unfortunately, are secular Jews. And as I told you, I didn't want to offend anyone. It's not my words. According to Maimonides, they are not considered as Jewish. A Jew means a believer. Everybody not a believer is not considered Jewish. It's like if there will be a majority, not only a majority, 80% of Muslim people, they don't believe in Islam, they don't believe in the Muslim principles. What do you consider them? They can call themselves Muslims. And if they have the power with the media, they can say we are the only Muslims in the world, and they can give any names what they want, but they are not Muslims. Because a Muslim means if you keep the religion, if you believe in the Muslim principles. The same thing is Judaism. Secular Jews, they can call themselves whatever name they want. Again, I didn't want to offend anybody. I just say the words of Maimonides. In Chelek, in Sanhedrin, Perik Chelek, the end of the Perik Chelek. However, only these people are considered a Jew, and we are not speaking in behalf of the secular Jews. I have to say that even between the secular Jews, there are large movements that are against the state of Israel. We can see that here in London by the marches. We can say that most of the speakers in the rallies, but it's last 2 years quite oftenly, every couple of weeks, a rally in the streets, most of the speakers is Jewish names. They call up the speakers as Jewish names, secular Jews. So there must be a large Jewish movement in the secular Jewish, what they are against the state of Israel. However, I don't speak in behalf of them. I'm speaking in behalf of religious Jews. And I must tell you also, I'm not speaking in behalf of all religious Jews. I'm speaking in behalf of Jewish people, looks like me, chaos with a beard, this type of people. I don't know if you got them too much in Scotland there. Now closest to you is Newcastle, but it's not in Scotland. But in Newcastle, I think, is the closest area where you'll find people like me. In any concentrated Jewish neighborhood, what looks like me, I can say that most of them are anti-Zionist. And 95% of them are non-Zionist. The difference means anti-Zionist means strong anti-Zionist, and non-Zionist means people that haven't got nothing with Israel. It's not a part of their life. They have to do with their prayers, with their businesses, with the education of children, with their studies. They have nothing to do with the state of Israel at all. I mean, I will put it on this way: if the state of Israel will come to an end, they will not shed a tear on that. It's not a part of their life at all. It's 95% of people looks like me, but most of the people, I can say, is strong anti-Zionist people. Not everybody agrees with Neturei Karta, what we are, but they are not agreeing with all the ways how we fight Zionism, like going out to demonstrations on the streets and blah, 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 like that. But let's say one of the leading communities on the world between people looks like me, this type of people, it's Satmar. I don't know if you heard about them. Satmar is a leading community everywhere you have concentrated. People looks like me. You can call them Haredi Jews, Orthodox Jews, Hasidic Jews, no difference. Everywhere you see people, this is the type of people. Satmar community is the leading community. They are very strong against Israel in their wait for the full dismantlement of the state of Israel. They are not agreeing to go out on demonstrations because many things, but they are strong opposing the state of Israel, exactly as the Neturei Karta. You can see that in their own website, what is TorahJews.org, if I remember good, or maybe TorahJews.org. Sorry, I didn't remember exactly. And our website is nkusa.org. What you can see slight differences only in the way how to fight Zionism, but against the state of Israel, they're exactly like us. It is the leading community in the whole world, in Australia, in Argentina, everywhere. On the whole world where you go, in South Africa, in Vienna, in Belgium, in New York, in Canada, everywhere you see people looks like me, these Haredi Jews, most of them are against the state, and most of them are against the state of Israel, and 95% of them are non-Zionist. And therefore, you cannot find in these areas an Israeli flag. Like come in Stamford Hill, in my neighborhood, you will not find even one Israeli flag in the whole area. And the same thing is in Manchester, same thing is in Newcastle, same thing is in Belgium, same thing is in Montreal, in Toronto, and in New York, in New Jersey, everywhere, in Argentina, in Australia, everywhere you see people like me, this type of people, you will not see the in general Israeli flag. In our calendars, if you go in a Hebrew bookshop, but again, not in the whole world, come in these neighborhoods, in neighborhoods where you see people like me, Haredi neighborhoods, buy in any calendar in a Hebrew bookshop, you will not see there mentioned the Israeli Independence Day. It's a normal day, like all days, they're not mentioned. It's not a part of the Jewish life at all. This is outside the state of Israel. And again, I don't speak about secular Jews, I don't speak about even religious Jews, but they are not Haredi, doesn't look like me. I'm speaking about Haredi Jews. Most of them are anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, and 95% of them are non-Zionist. They are a very small percentage, but they are Zionist, unfortunately. But they are so small, they are not there to raise up an Israeli flag.
So is that the same?
Israel,
sorry, is that the same in Israel then? Yeah.
In Israel themselves is completely different. As you can see, the settlers look the same like me, looks Haredi Jews like me. The settlers, they are really strong Zionists. However, still, there are hundreds of thousands of Jewish people in Israel, they are under the flag of the Eda Haredis and Risk and a few other communities, they are opposing the state of Israel very strongly. They don't take any benefits from the government, like they call it here universal credit and so on, or child benefit or NHS. They don't take anything. They're boycotting any benefit of the state. They're boycotting the votes. They don't take part in the votes, and they don't save the army. Our rabbis say, well, you better go to prison and not going to the army. And you can see that only in the social media, because the media are very strong on the Zionist power. But in the social media, you can see that our people, but that counts in hundreds of thousands, they are beaten by the police. And our youths are beaten by the police. It's not like the English police that don't beat anybody. They are beating very hard there. And they arrest them because they didn't want to serve in the army. You can see that very much in the social media. Unfortunately, the media is in the hand of the Zionists. In the media, you can only see that The children of Gaza have so much food and everything is there. Brilliant. Everything is brilliant. If you want to see what's going on in Gaza, you can only see that on the social media, unfortunately. In the media, you will see it like parachutes. It's going down, so many foods. I wish to live in Gaza. It's the best place to live there. Anyway, however, but the same
Of
thing.
Gaza. You've spoken a lot there about the Orthodox Jews and the Hasidic Jews. Did you say, is it Satma?
Satma, yes.
Satma, yeah, but that obviously looks different within Israel. And you know, if we look at Israel and Palestine, West Bank, Gaza, a word that's used routinely is apartheid. Not everybody agrees with that. Do you see, and does your Jewish community see apartheid in Israel? Would you use that word?
Of course, we see that we don't like to give names and to just label people with this and with this and with this. But however, I mean, everybody can see what's going on there. The Palestinians are not second-class citizens there. They are third and maybe 10th-class citizens in the state of Israel. I mean, everybody can see that. They haven't got even a normal life. This is crazy what's going on there. Of course, we see that what's going on there. And we hope and we wait that all of this will come to an end. I told you in the beginning I will come back to the Messianic question. Many people asking, what means that Messiah? What do you believe in Messiah? You believe in Messiah will do the same job as Netanyahu. He will kill the people. The matter is only a matter of time that Netanyahu do that now. Messiah will do that in 10 years and 20 years and 50 years and so on. What is you believe in that? I have to explain very clear that firstly we have to learn what is that Messiah. And to understand what Messiah is, we cannot Google on the net. We have to look properly in the books of the prophets. What is the description of Messiah? When you look in the books of the prophets, you will see Messiah will not come with any physical power at all. Messiah will come with the power of spiritual power. He will come into Messiah will only be a prophet, but he will bring in spirit in the heart of all the people on the world. In me, in you, in all of us. They will bring in spirit, fill in the heart with spirit, and all of us will turn our face to God to serve him in harmony, in peace. This will happen when Messiah will come. And I will give you an example. Messiah is in our scriptures described uni v'hoiche v'lachamor. That means a poor man coming on a white donkey. We don't know what it means. There are no donkeys today. Like many prophecies, we will only understand it when we will see it with our eyes. However, but understand what is the description of Messiah. Not a man with muscles, I will come, I'm the king, everybody my slave, everybody will kill everybody. No, a poor man, because he will not come with physical power, he will come with spiritual power. This is the description of Messiah. The Messiah will arrive, the whole world will be happy, like it's written in many of our scriptures, especially in the Psalms. And I give you one example in chapter 97. Hashem mulach tugeilu etzis mechiim rabim. That when God will reveal his kingdom on the world, everybody will happy. Everybody will serve the same God. We, the Palestinians, will not be on two sides on the fence. We will be on the same side of the fence. Both of us will serve the same God together in harmony and peace. In written in our scriptures, all of us will do one organization to serve God with own heart, together. This is our belief in Messiah. So there is no room for killing innocent men and women and children like the Zionists doing that. Not to speak that the Messianic belief is completely in contradiction with Zionism, because Messiah, he come on the world to turn all the people to God, to bring people close to God, to save God. The state of Israel, the Zionists, they're doing exactly the opposite, to uproot people from God. Don't believe in God. Don't keep the Torah. Just transform the believing in God with believing in a state, believing in a language, believing in an army, believing in your own hands. Don't think about God. Don't believe in Him. So they're doing exactly the opposite job of Messiah does. Now, I have just to finish it off with people asking, okay, I understand, fine. But in which way you believe that people are going to save God? In the Jewish way. Oh, the Muslims thinking in a Muslim way. The Muslims believe also in a Messiah. The Christians believe also in a Messiah. So everybody believes that it will be in its own way. So again, they can argue each other and kill each other because everybody has a different belief. That's what I want to point out, that the belief has never been the problem. The problem is only when people try to force other people. But the belief itself has never been a problem. I'll give you an example. You, I understand you are a Christian. You come from a Christian background. Now, have you got a problem to go to a cafe, drink a cup of tea with a Muslim person, just sitting by a cup of tea, discuss about the religion? You will explain what your belief is. He explain what his belief is. You don't hate each other. You haven't got a problem with each other. You can be best friends. You have your belief. He have his own belief. Okay, let's wait and see. That's all. God will reveal His kingdom on the world. Everybody will accept what God will do Himself. So let's just wait and see. It's no reason why to hate each other, why to kill each other, why to fight each other. Why? You can see it by a cup of tea, very calm. You're speaking about the differences in religion. You don't feel any hatred. This shows that the religion has never been a problem. The belief has never been a problem. The problem is only the forcing up on the head of other people. Like the Zion is doing, the forcing, even not a belief. They don't forcing the belief because they don't have a belief. But they're forcing the occupation on other people. This creates the hatred in the problem. I just asked myself another question, what you didn't ask. The Zionists justify themselves many times. They say, you heard it very many times from Netanyahu on the media, and also from the English government. You say that Israel have the right to defend ourselves, to defend themselves. You hear it on the media very, very often. Israel have the right in this. They try to justify with that all the killings and murder what they're doing in Gaza. They try to justify with them. We have the right to defend ourselves. But who gives you the right to be there in the first place? It's not your land. Give it back for the right owner. You can take over someone's house and then say, I have the right to defend myself. Give back the house. The Palestinians have no problem with Jews. They have a problem with the occupier. Give them back the land. Everything will come back. Everything will become right. And another thing for the Zionists to try to justify themselves every time what they're saying, oh, even you are against the state of Israel, but you have to side with us. If not, you will be killed. You don't know. The Muslims want to kill all the Jews. The Muslims are the strongest anti-Semites in the world. They want to kill Jews. And they want to throw all the Jews into the sea. What can I say? I can only say that nothing can be further from the truth from that. I mean, everybody knows the history, knows that Jews have a golden life in the Muslim countries. For centuries, we live together and we have no problem with each other. Jewish people were even big ministers in the Muslim countries. Like Maimonides, he was by the person doctor of the king of Egypt, and many other Jewish people. We used to live, we have the much better life in the Muslim countries, like in the rest of the world. I mean, how people can deny that and say Muslims are anti-Semites. And really, you don't have to go to the history. You can just look in today's day. Today, after 77 years of occupation, 77 years of the genocide, what's going on? Still, Jewish people living peacefully in all Muslim countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, Morocco, Turkey, in Iran. Iran is the greatest enemy of Israel. And still, they're living 35,000 Jewish people in Iran. They don't know what anti-Semitism is. They never experienced it. I myself, I didn't vote in Iran, but my colleagues, rabbis, vote there, and they told me they go there, they find a golden life. They find schools, high schools, Jewish institute. They see there a Jewish hospital funded by the government completely. And in Iran, if you want to get an MP, you need to have about 500,000 people. Jewish people have only 35,000 and they have their own MP. Iran, for 8 weeks ago, under the missiles between Israel and Iran protected their own Jews. They didn't concentrate them in camps, something like that. They protect their own Jews. This all proves that there is no hatred between Jews and Muslims. There is a hatred against occupation, against genocide. Have nothing to do with the religion, have nothing to do against Jews at all. I myself, I going to many rallies in here in England, and I going all over the country. I was in Scotland a few times. I was in Edinburgh, and I was in I didn't remember the other big country, Glasgow. Yes, I was in Glasgow, in Edinburgh. I was in Newcastle. I was in Bristol. I was in Brighton. I go all over the country to many places to give speeches, speaking in mosques, and speaking in just by many events, and they're making events to raise money for Gaza, and I come there to give a speech for that and something like that. But and I going very many times among Muslim people, and I never experienced any anti-Semitism. I every time very welcome, very welcome. I just say sometimes I going many times to the rally, and before I coming to the rally, the police stops me. Where you going? I told them to the rally there. Oh, they will kill you. I must say, I didn't want to criticize the police. They want to protect me. I'm thankful for them. Fine, very good. But I answered them, look, don't protect me, just look after me. I show you a miracle. I go in among hundreds of thousands of Muslims. I'm still alive. I'm not killed. There never has been a hatred between Jews and Muslims. The problem today is the occupation, the genocide, what's going on. And that have to be stopped. That have to be stopped. And really, people ask me, what is the solution? What is the solution in today's day, in this complicated situation? Look, firstly, we have to be clear what is right and what is wrong. If a situation is complicated, didn't make the wrong for right. This is the first thing. And then when we are clear what is wrong and what is right, then we can think about the solution. But before that, when we think on the wrong, that this is right, to say that Israel have a right to the land, and the Palestinians have no right to the land, or half and half, or something like that, then we come to a false solution completely. The first thing we have to understand what is wrong, what is right. The land belongs to the Palestinian people. That's all. And this is the right thing, and the land should go back to them 100%. Now we have to think what we can do to bring this rightness, the solution for this right. Secondly, I'm not a politician. I cannot say exactly the political solution. I can only say I'm a rabbi. I can say just from the Torah. In the Torah, it's written in the references in Numbers 14, verse 41. A rebellion against the Almighty cannot be succeed. As long as the state of Israel is a rebellion against the Almighty, the God gives us the Torah. God gives us the land. The same God who promised us the land, He took it away from us. And go back by force to the Holy Land is a rebellion against the Almighty. This is what the Zion is doing. A rebellion against the Almighty will not succeed. The state of Israel will come to an end. How? We don't know. We pray to God for a peaceful end. Nobody looks for bloodshed. However, I know people say a peaceful end for the state of Israel, a peaceful end. Firstly, make it 2 states or something like that. I tell you again, Jews are not allowed in today's day to have even 1 inch of a land. We are in exile by divine decree. We are not rebellion against God. We are not going out of the exile. And we're staying in exile like good children. If God punishes us, we're staying with the punishment. We're waiting for God to take us out. We're waiting for the redemption on the wall. That's firstly. No, Jews have no right to the land, even not 1 inch, not of this land, and not in any land of the world. Jews have to stay in exile under the nations if we accept the decree of God. That's one. So, again, we're coming out, we are not supporting a 2-state solution. We are supporting from the river to the sea should go back for the Palestinian people in full. And that will happen according to the Torah, that a rebellion against the Almighty cannot succeed. People say, oh, that will cost millions of lives of Jews. No, I'll give you an example. I don't know if it's happened in your lifetime. You may be too young to remember that. For 35 years ago, it was a strong power. It's called the USSR. Everybody who remembers them, there was very strong power. I think there was called in the world the second strong power after the USA. Very strong power, and people think to bring an end to this power, it will cost millions of lives. It didn't cost even 1 single life. And the same thing happened in South Africa, the apartheid state. What people thinking that this will cost very much lives. It's costed lives, but not so much as people think. So that proves and shows that if there is a will, there is a way. The same thing is here. If the politicians on the world, like our country, United States, were supporting blindly the state of Israel so strongly, my message always to them is, please open the eyes to understand. You want to help Jews. We are thankful you want to help Jews. But please open the eyes to understand that the state of Israel is not a help for the Jews. It's not in favor for the Jews. State of Israel only brings bloodshed after bloodshed, rivers of blood, and no end to this bloodshed. Look, Palestinian movement just growing up. When Palestine, when Israel has become first state 1948, there was nearly 1 million Palestinians. And today, there are 10 million. What's going to be in 10 years? What's going to be in 20 years? Look just in the rallies on the streets. They're just growing up more and more and more and more people coming out. Look in the last 2 years. Yes, it's unbelievable. I don't see any problem on the world, but they have so much supporters as the Palestinians. You're going out here in the streets. Every 2-3 weeks, the whole city is closed, and there's a large demonstrations, hundreds of thousands of Palestinian supporters. They are not so Palestinians, they are Palestinian supporters. You have the blacks and whites, Easterns and Westerns, you have from all the races and all the people in the world coming together here, and they're just growing and growing up. This is crazy to think that we can kill people and we will wipe them up on the earth in next 2 generations. If you want to see a Palestinian, you have to go to the museum. Like, again, I didn't give any people names. I didn't want to label anyone, but it's like the Nazis said for the Jewish people. We will wipe them out. After 2 generations, nobody will know what a Jew means. That's what the Zionists, again, I'm not labeling people. I just say this is what they want to do with the Palestinians, but they will not succeed. And you can see it with my eyes. Our government, in the government of the United States, should recognize this, that you cannot whiten up people. You cannot kill people, making a genocide on them, occupy the land, taking away the land, and whiten them up. It will not work. Find a solution. How to find, in my eyes, that to bring the solution is only to bring an end to this state of Israel, and the whole land should be given back to the Palestinians. How that can be? If there is a will, there is a way. I know people say, how you can say that if Palestine will take over the land, the Jewish people will be killed, and they will throw all the Jewish people out into the city, into the sea, and they will throw them out of the country, something like that. I don't see that. I see that Jewish people can live in Iran. Jewish people can live in Morocco. Jewish people can live in almost the countries. We can the same thing live in Palestine under Palestinian government. I mean, I will tell you, we was invited to a conference in Turkey for 18 months ago. 3 months after the October 7th. We come there in Turkey to the conference. In the middle of the conference, Ismail Haniyeh, I believe you know who is that. If not, this is the leader of Hamas. He appeared in the conference. He saw our rabbis. He told them to come up on the stage, and he embraced them. And he say, people like that is welcome in Palestine. In Palestine, we welcome Jewish rabbis, but they want to live as loyal citizens. We have a problem with our occupiers, not with Jews. And this said who? The leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh. He said that. And the same thing, Yasser Arafat, and today Muhammad Abbas, he proclaimed that many times, that we have no problem with Jews, we have a problem with our occupiers. Jews will be welcome in Palestine. So again, there is a way. We just have to look for it, and then we can find the way. We hope and pray to God that the state of Israel will come to an end soon, in a peaceful end, soon in our days. And then we can live there together in Palestine, together with the Muslim people, and there will be an end of the whole bloodshed what's going on there in the Middle East for 77 years already. We hope it's going to happen soon in our days.
That's exactly the hope that Rox and I hold on to as well. A peaceful end to the occupation, to what we see every day in the news and on social media. We did have a few other questions. You've answered most of them in what you have said already, and it's been really, I've really enjoyed listening to you. Not just for the purpose of this podcast, but on a personal level, listening to your Jewish faith and how that fits into the world at the moment. There's one or two things we haven't covered yet, and we're interested in if you had one piece of advice for people in the UK as to the best way for us to support Palestine, to support a peaceful process, to support the peaceful end that we want to see. What do you feel? And I guess this is asking you to draw on your experience as part of the pro-Palestine movement in the UK. What do you think is the most effective, the best way that we can try to help. You know, a lot of us sit here watching what we see on our screens in despair because we don't know how to help. But what's the best piece of advice you could give?
Yeah, look, again, I'm a Jewish rabbi. I'm not a politician. I'm not in the world of academy, something like that. What I can say, and from the other side, I say secretly, nobody asked me what to do. I mean, but, and from the other side, we are binded by law, by some things. But I understand that just we have to wake up ourselves, not other people, ourselves. We have to wake up to this problem to understand what is wrong and what is right, and to stand on the right side. When we wake up ourselves, the next step is to wake up other people. But when people see that you yourself, you are alive and you are strong and to understand what is right and to stand up for the right. This gives the power for hundreds of people around you also to come out with the right. We have to understand really what is right and what is wrong and to decide we going to stand with on the right side. No difference what it cost me. I will stay on the right side. That's all. I will stay strong. When we will do that, many people will follow us. And this will bring out the message for the Palestinians on the world on a way that they cannot ignore us. As I told you, I never see by any idea what this brings out every 2, 3 weeks on the streets, hundreds of thousands of people. I don't see it. I don't see it. Only the matter of Palestine brings that out. And we have to be a part of that and stay strong, coming out on the streets on a peaceful way, just to bring out we're standing on the right side.
Do you think, just listening to what you've said there, do you think Palestine represents something bigger? You're talking about the sheer number of people that come out onto the streets for Palestine. Do you think it's representing something bigger? For me, I think it's a wakening up of individuals and groups to colonialism in general and the oppressive power structures in general, which don't only fall onto Palestine, but places around the whole world. For you, does Palestine represent something bigger?
Well, look, of course, it represents bigger, but I don't like to go in other topics and other ideas, as I told you before, like to criticize some movements. Look, I'm a Jew. Yes, I'm not a politician. I'm a Jew and I'm in exile, and we have to be loyal to any country where we live in. This is what it says in the prophecies. If we live here in England, we have to be loyal to England. If we live in Australia, we have to be loyal to Australia, in Russia to Russia. In any country where we live in, we have to be loyal to this land. And because of this, we try to avoid to speak about any regimes, criticize them, or say something like that, or about any movements. We try to keep out of that. Even something what we can understand, but we don't speak about it. We don't bring it out. We focus the topic of Palestine, especially when all these killings in the genocide has been done in my name, in the name of Jewish people. It's done in the name of all Jewish people, the name of the Torah, in the name of God, falsely taking out verses of the Torah to justify themselves. I find my duty to come out and to explain it and to make it clear what the situation is without going into side ideas and movements. What I can think what I think, but I don't like to comment about.
Thank you. I understand that and I respect that. I looking at my list of questions, I think everything has been has been covered in great depth. I don't know if Rox feels she wants to touch on anything else.
No, I think you covered everything. I don't have any other questions, but I'd just like to say thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us.
Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you.